If legalism and license are the ditches, then we can call the road we want to stay on liberty. A home full of liberty is a home full of grace with a backbone, grace that embraces the law rightly. The kindness found in gospel liberty instills love in children in the home, whereas the harshness found in homes filled with legalism and license creates obstacles to obedience and destroys a child's natural affection for their parents. In these homes, there is great freedom. There is great joy. And yes, there is the keeping of God's commands, for liberty does not mean lawlessness. Children are treated as though they are free, rather than as slaves who must simply obey. And this is what Paul means by bringing them up in the training and admonition of the Lord. The word here in verse 4 for bringing up is the same exact word that Paul uses in Ephesians 5, the previous chapter, when he says that husbands are to nourish their wives as they do their own bodies. Slaves are just told where to go and what to do. Those who are free are taught where to go and what to do, but they are also taught why and are gladly helped with the how. Their daily lives should be filled with not merely rules or commands, but with new lessons to naturally learn about God and this great world he has created. And so Paul says to nourish them, to bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. The word here translated as nurture is the word paideia. Paideia refers to training or education, but it includes the whole process of instruction and discipline. It is a comprehensive word, meaning that children are taught all things pertaining to faith and godliness. One of the best examples of what this looks like in Scripture comes from the law in Deuteronomy 6. There Moses says this, "And these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates." Here Moses says that the commands of God should be received in the heart, and then they should be taught diligently to our children. This is not done during a 5-minute devotion or just in a classroom, but is something that happens throughout the whole day. And in our scripture reading earlier, that was from Deuteronomy 6, and later on, Moses says that children will ask, what is the meaning behind these commands? And parents are to be ready with an answer. Fathers and mothers should not simply be looking out for sins to discipline, but for opportunities to instruct and teach their children in the faith. And all of this is to be done in the context of love and joy in the home. When nurture is present alongside instruction, then discipline can truly be formative rather than merely punitive. When a child is taken aside to receive discipline in a home like this, they have tasted the great joy that they are now missing out on. They know that God's commands are for their good because they have seen evidence of that every day. So fathers, your authority over your children should not only be exercised in corporate discipline. That is but one part of your responsibilities, and all on its own, it cannot be done rightly at all. When all you do is merely discipline, and love, affection, and instruction are absent, instead of being an agent of joy and godly influence in your children's lives, you become the man who only really engages in order to administer the rod. And that is a recipe for provoking your children. You must remember that your authority is for their good. They are to obey you because God commands it as the path to true blessing. The point and end of all your discipline is to create a family atmosphere that is thriving with true liberty in the Lord.